welcome to The Maria Show. Today I'm going to be reviewing this book, The School for Good and Evil, Book 1. I actually read this book like years ago, like when I was like kid. I don't know how old I was, maybe 12 or something. And I really liked it, and I even got the second book and was reading that. But I kind of fell off of it and didn't continue reading the series. So recently I really wanted to get through the series because I really wanted to know how it ended. So this book is about two girls named Agatha and Sophie. And Agatha, she's kind of emo. She has like really dark hair. She has a cat. She lives in a cemetery. Like everyone thinks she's evil. She's a witch. And then there's Sophie. She's like the perfect princess, loves pink, all that stuff. So they're friends basically, and they live in this village that's surrounded by a bunch of like endless woods. And every 4 years, two children are kidnapped. I think it's between the ages of 12 and 18? I don't know, but it's around that age. The village kind of puts together that there's this like schoolmaster, and he comes and he takes the kids, one personally good, one personally evil, puts them in these schools, and then basically prepares them to be in their own fairy tales, basically. And so Sophie, she's like the pretty princess. Everyone thinks that she's gonna go to the good school. She really wants that. That's like her main thing. Like she is like, I think she literally puts cookies for the schoolmaster for him to know that she's gonna go willingly or something like that. So she really wants it. And so then the night comes where the schoolmaster comes and takes Agatha and Sophie, and they takes them to school. Well, he kind of takes Sophie first, but then Agatha is trying to save Sophie, and she sort of gets dragged along for the journey, but it seems like the schoolmaster had that planned anyway for her to be taken as well. And you would think that Sophie would go to the good school and Agatha would go to the evil school, because I mean, like, even like looking at the cover, like that's how it is. But it ends up not being that way. Agatha actually goes to the good school and Sophie goes to the evil school, and literally everyone thinks there's like a mix-up. Like Agatha and Sophie thinks there is, like the school, teachers, everyone does. Even the schoolmaster has a moment, I think, in the book where he's like, maybe I did this wrong, or I judged wrong or something. But it's really cool because even at the beginning of the book, like, you really see why they went into the schools that they went into, because at the very like beginning, like, you see like Sophie is very vain, she's very selfish, self-absorbed. She makes a list of like good deeds, but like none of it's like from her heart. She's just like doing it to do it, to look good, to have her look good. But Agatha, like, she's actually good, like, on the inside. Like, you can see, like, she has like a heroine heart. Like, she wants to, like when Sophie's getting kidnapped by the schoolmaster, like, she like, oh, I gotta go after her and like save her, right? And so you see that in her. Like, she has this heroism. Agatha is my favorite character by far in this entire book. I think she's the only character that I actually like. There's not a lot of likable characters. I actually hate a lot of them. So basically, so that happens. They go get kidnapped into the schools. Everyone thinks there's a mixed up. Sophie, her motivation, she just wants to get in her right school, right? She wants to go to the good school. Like, that's like basically her only passion in life, apparently. And Agatha, she literally just wants to go home. Like, she just wants to take Sophie, like, Sophie, let's go, let's get out of here, let's just leave, like, this place is crazy. Like, she seems like the only character that's like looking around at this place and seeing how like messed up stuff are, like just like the things that they do to people, to animals, like, and she's the only one that seems like the sexism, like the misogyny, like she's the only one that seems to like point it out and be like, this is kind of not right, this isn't good. And so I think that's why I like her, because she seems like the only sane one. But eventually Agatha sort of convinces Sophie that they need to get out of here after she was literally tortured. Like the school's punishments for things are like horrid. Like they had these magical like iron shoes, and they were just like burning all night on both of them, and they were just like dancing, and it was like awful. And like after that, after it was finally over, Sophie finally comes to her sentence after literally being tortured, and is like, okay, yeah, we need to go home, like talk to the schoolmaster and see if he can get us home. So they finally get to the schoolmaster's tower, and essentially he gives them this riddle. I think it's, what can good not live without, and what can evil never have? Something like that. So they figure out that it's love. They realize that like the story and the thing that's writing their fairy tale, that is a whole other thing, that the historian thinks that Sophie is the villain of the story, and therefore Sophie's gonna die at the end of the story, because that's how it happened, like good always wins. So now their goal is to get Sophie the kiss of true love, which they think for some reason is Tedros, which I hope I'm saying that name. I've never known what his name is. Tedros. I'm sorry if you disagree, but I hate that guy so much. I don't like Tedros. I hope he dies at some point in this series. Like, maybe not die, just go away, far away, marry someone else, but go be with someone else. I just don't like it. Like, his only personality trait is Prince Charming. Like, that's his whole thing. Like, he's just Prince Charming. There's literally like one paragraph of personality other than that, oh, I wish that girls thought more of me than just my looks, and they saw who I was inside. Well, who are you inside? Like, I don't know. Who are you? Like, what personality trait other do you have than being good looking? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like him at all. So they try to get Tedros to kiss Sophie, but long story short, when they finally get the chance for the kiss to happen, Sophie refuses, and that kind of puts a strain in her and Agatha and Sophie's relationship. And Agatha kind of realized, like, oh, she didn't want to go home. She was just using me to get the guy that she liked. That's like all her motivation was. Like, she just wanted Tedros. So then basically after another series of chapters, basically what ends up happening is Sophie sort of goes further and further like off the deep end. Like, she starts becoming more and more evil, basically. This scene where Sophie finally like breaks and like goes full evil, like when she walks in to the talent show and she's wearing that hood, and then she like takes it off, and then she does that screech where like all the glass breaks and a bunch of ravens flew in and started like attacking everyone. That was amazing. I love that so much. That was like I think it was like the best scene of the entire book. That I think they're making a movie for this book next year. I hope that they pull that off like really good, because I would love to see that, because that's so cool. She like takes over the whole school. The ending is where she's basically dying, and then Agatha kisses her, and she sort of like becomes alive again, and they like twirl up and they just like disappear, and that's the end of the book. So yeah, that's like the overall plot of the book. Oh, also, Agatha and Tedros kind of have a thing that's sort of a big deal in the book. I probably should have mentioned that. But moving on. So what did I think of the book? I think the concept of the book is very creative. It's very unique, I think. I really love Agatha, like I said. There's like a few scenes I really liked, chapters, like that one chapter, or well, I shouldn't, like that one scene where Agatha frees that young girl who was like transformed into wishfish, and the girl is like, after like all these years, like, you're the only one that wished to free me, like, and I thought that I thought that was really good. I like that. Obviously, like I said before, the scene where Sophie becomes full evil, windows smash, ravens, loved that. I don't really know how to say it, but the use of the author's like descriptive words, like, I don't know, they felt, they fit. I don't know how to say it. The book, it gives off a lot of like Grimm's fairy tale vibes, if you know what I mean. Like, this was literally like a Grimm's fairy tale. Like, if you've ever read the Grimm's fairy tales, like, those things, they are dark, they are, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know what, don't even read them. Really love the cover. I hate that they changed it, because I just went to the bookstore like a while ago to get the third book, and I saw that they changed it to this, and so now it doesn't match, you know what I mean? I thought the original design was so pretty and really like symbolic, like you have Agatha and Sophie, and then there's like the white swan, the black swan, but she's over at the good school and she's over the bad school. I just really like that. And you even have the halfway bridge. I just really like this design. I thought it was really pretty. And I don't know, I guess this is fine, but it's kind of simplified. I guess that's fine. Just, I'm not a fan of the newer cover. I really like the old one. You have a preference, or if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, because I would like to see what other people think. But anyway, continuing on with my review, some stuff that I didn't like. I felt like some chapters were unnecessary. Some things were like kind of repetitive, like it kind of felt like there was like always like this scene of like Agatha, like, or them like being chased by like some sort of like magical creatures or something, and it was just like repetitive and it just kept happening, and I was like, okay, we get it. So yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in this book just to like make it thicker, I felt. And I really wish there was more character growth and like just more chapters that focused on the characters, because I felt like so many of the characters were so one-dimensional and like one-motived and stuff like that. I think my favorite character was Agatha, because she had the most, well, character. Sophie, she seemed just very she just had one motive, there was no understanding of why. There was no like internal conflict or like her thoughts or like more to her personality, you know? And like there was like a little stuff like in the beginning where they mentioned like, you know, that she's never looked at her mother's grave, and you know, family conflict with her father and stuff. And I wish like that's like good stuff that I wished the author had dived more into in the first book. I'm reading the second book now, and I'll say it's much better than this book. Every chapter is so good, and it's exactly what I wanted in this book, is more character stuff, except especially with Sophie. I much more like Sophie in the second book that I'm reading right now. So yeah, I just wish they had more character development and just like eternal conflict and like their thoughts. I wish Tedros wasn't just Prince Charming and he actually had a personality, and I really wish that Agatha wasn't the only character that I liked in this book. I really do. Another thing I didn't like was, of course, you already know I don't like Tedros. But her relationship, I mean his, but Agatha's relationship with Tedros I did not like that, obviously. And it just seemed like so much against her character, like just before, like she was saying like, oh, she like hates boys, like she doesn't want this, like she hated Tedros, literally punched him in the face, and I was like, good. Oh my goodness. When he killed that little boy that he thought was a gargoyle, I was like, punch him in the face, punch him in the face. And then she did, and I was like, yes, thank you. He killed a child. He killed a child. Yes, he thought it was a gargoyle, but he killed a child. And then at the end of the book, Agatha just forgot about that, and now she's like in love with him for some reason. And like the whole time Agatha was telling Sophie, who liked him, like he doesn't even know you, like you don't even know him, like you don't know what he likes, he doesn't know who you are on the inside. And then she likes Tedros, and like she doesn't know anything about him either, because he's just Prince Charming. He doesn't have a personality. I don't know if there's like Tedros fans or if there's like a bunch of like shippers that I need to be worried about. I'm not immersed in the whole good School for Good and Evil like fandom or anything, so I don't know the rules. I don't know what's going on, so I'm sorry if I said anything wrong. Another one of my favorite scenes or chapters in the book was the one where Agatha is talking about how she never looks in mirrors and she thinks she's ugly, and she's constantly told in the book that she's ugly. But then the teacher, I think it was Mrs. Dovey, I'm not really sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but she essentially makes Agatha believe that she did like a magic spell and made her have a different face. And she shows her mirror, and Agatha's like, oh my goodness, like I'm beautiful, like, and she's like, yeah. And then she's like going across the school, and she's getting all these compliments from people, and then she finally, I think she goes to her room and she looks in the mirror, and then she starts crying, and she realizes like that there was no spell, like she was beautiful like all along, and like the reason why people were complimenting her is because she was like smiling, and she was wearing this newfound like confidence like in herself. And so that I really liked that chapter. So I'm not really sure what else to say. I guess the book sort of talked about like, I guess it sort of made a statement about like society's like beauty standards and like how we look at appearances, and we judge people based on looks, and that's just like the overall theme that I saw in the book. So that's about all that I think I wanted to say. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up so I know, and comment down below of what you thought of the book, because I would love to read that. So bye.